Hi guys, I was out at the garden and had a few more thoughts on the previous video today. It's January 9th, 2013 at 12:42. Um, you know, what everybody's trying to do is to find a way to bring down this system of the powers that be, the Illuminati, as quickly and efficiently as possible. And it's really these guys here in the United States that have to lead the forefront. And it's the Illuminati is trying to take our Second Amendment rights, the guns as weapons, away from the public so that they can domineer and control the situation. Tell everybody what to do. Keep staying their game. Well, if you understand how their machine works, their transmission works, it's all about the control of the money system and the religious system, education system, the pharmaceutical system, the food system, and the power, energy, gasoline, electricity, uh, and all of these different things that are necessary for modern life. This is one of the reasons why they went with First Solar of Arizona and backed them in keeping out the less than $1 solar panels, so you couldn't get off the grid, whether you're driving an electric car or using LED light bulbs in your house. Using LED light bulbs is another thing, but there's some very simple things that we could do if we really wanted to change the system very fast in the United States, and it has to do with how the powers that be control the monetary system. And number one, you're going to have to realize it and say no. But come April 15th, the big tax day here in the United States for the illegal Internal Revenue Service, which everybody who is awake and aware knows that they're illegal and knows they really have no authority over anybody, but so many people still in 3D are in fear of them and choose to continue to play their game so they don't have everything taken away. Well, first of all, we've got to come together and realize we're one people here and realize that the Illuminati is controlling the situation in certain ways. And come tax day, if you're still in that system and you're still playing with money, many of us have gotten out. We don't even use money. We do things in other ways. But to file extensions, if we could get all of America to simply file an extension on April 15th saying, we're going to have to review this and we'll get back to you type thing. If the IRS hasn't got their money, then how are they going to pay those that they owe? Another thing is to realize the Illuminati controlled banks, the JP Morgan Chases and all the parts of the banking system, including MasterCard and Visa, and realize by continuing to keep your money in there, you're letting the Illuminati use your money against yourself. And so you are giving them money, whether it's to the IRS or you're working with these credit cards or you're keeping your money in the Illuminati controlled banks. You're paying them to keep you in check and to hold you down. And sooner or later, you're going to have to realize and recognize what's going on so that you can remove yourself from the system and from their control and become truly free. Be free of the system. Be free of the controllers. There's all kinds of local banks and local credit unions that you can move your money into, much of the money in the Illuminati controlled banks is not and is no longer insured by FDIC anyway. That went out in 2012. So, if something happened to your money in the banks, you've lost it anyway. There's many of us, as the government gave the rights to the same Illuminati banksters, and our Illuminati controlled government gave the rights to the banksters to change at will whatever your rules and your contract are with your banking system, which when JP Morgan took over, Chase Bank took over Regions Bank, and changed something that I had for many, many years, where all I needed was just less than $100 to have a business account, and I was on the road. When they bought Regions Bank and changed it to $1,500, and I had no idea, because I was on the road and had no idea JP Morgan was buying Regions, then JP Morgan started charging me a penalty and interest, and about $300 that I had in my account, when they shifted up to having a minimum of $1,500, which I didn't know about, which, that's their doing and my fault for playing in their bank. They started charging me penalties and interests on not having $1,500 in my account. And within the time that I was gone, they not only took the roughly $300 that I had in there, but they charged me another couple of $100. And that was at rates that are even exceeding loan sharking. It's just ridiculous what they can do. So if you continue to play in these games, if you're continuing to send in your taxes to the illegal IRS, you're continuing to fund their operations, and it's going to take longer to bring the system down. For all the bloggers and for all the activists out there, one of the best things that could be done is to do exposés on this and to show the good banks where people could put their money into, the local federal credit unions. And I have a problem with the word federal, but the local credit unions, and to start a drive of getting everybody in America to file extensions on their taxes for the next periods of when we're supposed to be paying it in, or when America is supposed to be paying it in. Now, there are certain legal taxes, and they are the sales taxes, the ones that go to the local governments. Constitutionally, they are legal and lawful, and I totally agree with them. If there's got to be revenues collected for the government in this interim of changing from the old world to the new world, then there are going to be certain things that you're going to have to pay taxes on, and sales tax is one of those things. But income tax, no, they have absolutely no authority. And this was originally a war tax, a war reparations or war payment for World War II that the Americans were paying. And in, I believe it was 1952 or 1954, it had actually ended, but they kept the lie of the Internal Revenue Service out there. And it's nothing more than a bunch of thugs, just like the mafia strong arm guys coming and extorting money from people. That's all it is, and it's a lie. And if you can look on YouTube and look up IRS, anybody who is continuing to pay into this system is continuing to fund the same persons that you would like to bring down in order to change the system. So if there's going to be anything in these next months that is probably the greatest way of being active in changing what's here, not only the expose, but in changing everybody's understanding of what's going on, and by finding a way for us to all come together and say no. This is exactly why they're trying to install gun control, because they do not want you to be able to defend yourself. And it's really weapon control. It's not gun control. A gun is a tool. A weapon is when you use an offense or defense, the same tool. But a hammer can be a weapon. A screwdriver can be a weapon. Your hands and feet can be a weapon. Your mind and your heart can be a weapon. They're just trying to control your physical ability to say no. And you need to see it for what it is and say no. And just not play. Just refuse to play. But the collective is going to have to come together and refuse to play to change the system. And that is the unity consciousness in a physical, third dimensional, fourth dimensional, fifth dimensional way that we're going to have to come together to make this change. It's not going to just happen. So anyway, I would say if you want to really focus on something to expose right now, is expose those old IRS laws and see, expose the illegality of those IRS laws, and show that it has no actual original law that gives them any kind of authority. Show that it's just bully techniques and mafia techniques that the Illuminati are using. It's extortion. And show that there are other ways of doing things. And as far as activists and bloggers, I think that would be a fantastic thing. Really expose the system and to come up with a plan to do something alternative on April 15th, when the Internal Revenue Service expects a bunch of taxes coming in. If you shift your money out of the Illuminati-controlled banking systems, if you change to LED lights so they're not extorting money off the power grid system, the electric companies, if you quit driving your vehicles so much, or start riding your bikes, or not feeding the gasoline industry that form of energy, and if you take the money out of the system, then by not putting it in Illuminati-controlled banks, then you're going to bring them down. And that's what we're going to have to do. We're going to have to take action, but not in an aggressive way. It's going to have to be done in a very smart way. And just by saying no, by showing what it is, by showing the lies of the system, by the perceptions that people have bought into, believing is real, and exposing it, and then coming up with alternative ways of doing things. And it's really not a difficult thing. It's really not that tough to get out of the system if you so choose. And even if you cannot, because you have mortgages and you have family that's in the system and all these things that have bound you to the system, as long as you can limit what is feeding that system, as long as you can lower your food intake for the system to use against yourself, then you can bring it down. And it's happening. They're already having the great fiscal cliff that we're going off of. The whole thing's a lie in the first place. We don't owe ourselves the money. And the Internal Revenue Service, the Rothschild banksters, they're not even Americans anyway. And, sooner or later, you're just going to have to say no. Just say no. Just say no. So, anyway, had those thoughts. I got to get back to work. I've grown my garden. So I'm not buying the GMO foods and being stuck in all the costs of having to purchase organic foods. I'm growing it myself. And so this garden feeds a lot of people, and I'm sure any garden that you do too could also. So anyway, love you all. Bye for now.